My American family is like, what the heck is that? My mom called me the other day while I was hanging clothes on my drying rack and started laughing at me because that's just not something you see every day in the States. And that little moment just got me thinking as an American currently living in Germany. And it got me thinking of all the things that I do now as an American living in Germany that seems strange to my American family. So let's talk about it. But first, if you don't already know, my name is Peyton and I am an American living in Germany right now. So welcome to my channel. If you're not new here, I love you. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. Also, if you're not new here, then you might recognize this top. Well, that means you're an outfit rememberer, and I don't know what's worse, being an outfit repeater or an outfit rememberer. Shout out to my Lizzie McGuire days. Top is just too cute, okay? So we're wearing it again, and it is what it is. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. I have made a list of just a few things that I do now that I think is completely normal, but that my American family is like, what the heck is that? What are you doing? Why is this a thing? So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So first topic is just food and eating. It's done a lot differently here. And this is kind of gonna coincide with just European culture and German culture. So something that is not normal in the States but is incredibly normal here, it's actually not normal if it's not this way, is knowing that if you're sitting down at a cafe or a restaurant, you are going to be there for a minimum of 2 hours. Most of the time. And that's for just two people. Now in the States, if two people were gonna go have a coffee or have dinner, you'll be there maybe an hour, if that. But 2 hours for two people? Absolutely not. And that is actually something I had to get used to when we first moved here, because I was so used to just kind of rushing through my meal so that they could flip the table as soon as possible. But that's just not a thing here. And I didn't really like this at first, but I do love it now. And it has helped me to kind of slow down and enjoy my drinks, enjoy my food, like really take it in. Because I feel like for Americans, us going to a cafe or restaurant, like we are going there to eat. I mean, we may be going there to socialize a little bit, but it is mainly just to go grab a meal real quick or something. Meanwhile, here it is way more of a social event. Like, you know, you're going there to socialize and eat, but mainly socialize. Also another thing, which this is more so just because of where I live, because I live in the countryside in Germany, but I almost never DoorDash now, which when I lived in the States, I DoorDashed several times a week. Now, I do think one of the reasons I don't really DoorDash now is just because where I am, it's not really available. But I also think even if I did live like in the city where it was more available, I would probably just go to the cafe and like walk to the cafe or something like that. So that is another thing that's a bit strange now. Just that there isn't like a huge to-go takeout culture here the way there is in the States. You know what I mean? This will also go into a topic I'm going to talk about later, but I have to plan a lot of my activities around lunchtime because so many stores are closed for 1 or 2 hours around lunch, which makes sense, but in the States, that is not a thing, really. Like, not really. Okay, last thing on this part. Oh, hi, Bubs. Hello. Butter wants to join. Everyone, this is Bubs. Here, I'll show you. Say hi, Bubs. Hello. That is Butter Dog. But last thing about the food and eating culture kind of here is I know so much more now about like produce cycles, farming, everything like that. And the fact that there's so many 24-hour vending machines from local farmers and stuff. I mean, my family, the fact they think it's so funny and strange how I can go walk down the street and get eggs 24 hours a day that, mind you, aren't refrigerated. They think that part is crazy because eggs in the States are refrigerated, but they're not refrigerated here. Which I know it's because there's like a whole different system that they do, but anyways, my family thinks it is just so strange. Okay, this is a big one, but house temperature. My family finds it strange and hilarious how much kind of manual labor I put in to maintaining a comfortable temperature in my house, because obviously back in the States, most places have air conditioning, you know, units in the house where you can control the temperature, but here that is not a thing. So I have never put so much effort and thought into maintaining a comfortable temperature in my house. So like lüften, which is, if you're not familiar with that, that's where you open your windows in your house and you kind of like get a breeze through your house. I don't really know how to explain that, but it's basically where you open most of the windows in your house, if not all the windows in your house, to get kind of an airflow through. And then having the rollades, which is like these shades on the outside of your house that can like block out all the sun. So knowing when to open and close my rollades based on the season and the time of day. Like especially with it becoming summertime, like I'm having to put the rollades down during the day, but then I open them at night and keep my windows open all night, and like having fans and heaters, stuff like that. I just find that so funny because that is just really not a thing where I'm from, at least. Okay, but moving on. Another thing that is my normal now, but my American family is like, what the heck, is the recycling and trash. Them knowing that I have 4 trash cans in my kitchen, not including the area where I put my fond glass and my non-fond glass, and then I separate the non-fond glass by color, and then I go to a local recycling center and recycle that non-fond glass by color, green, brown, and white. They're like, what? It was so overwhelming when we first moved here. I had to watch an in-depth YouTube tutorial just on how to separate my trash, because in the States, most people, they put all of their recycling in one big bin and then all of their trash in one big bin, and that's about it. We don't even really have like a fawn system or anything. I mean, there's some states that kind of do, like I think California and Hawaii and some other places, but most states do not have that intricate system set up, and it was definitely a learning curve. But now I honestly appreciate it, and I love it so much, and it has me thinking about my waste and like how to reduce my waste and everything like that, to where I'm gonna probably hate it moving back to the States, being like, what do you mean I'm just gonna put it all in one bin? Like, what about my fond? I want to take my fond to the grocery store and I want to get my money back. But yeah, so my family, my whole trash process, recycling process, they just can't really wrap their head around that. And then what I mentioned at the very beginning with the clothing drying rack, it is way more normal here to dry your clothes on like a clothing line or something like that, inside or outside, than it is to put your stuff in the dryer. And I honestly kind of like it because it helps your clothes last longer and stay better for a longer period of time, and it just helps save energy and money. But my family thinks it's more of like, oh, we're going backwards in time. Like, what do you mean you don't have a dryer? But I mean, I have a dryer, but I don't use it as much as I use my drying rack. Also, another thing kind of going with clothing is I feel like in Europe in general, there's just way more effort put into your appearance when you're out in public. So wearing sweatpants and leggings and stuff when you're going out in the town is just not really a normal thing here. And to my American family, they're like, that's weird. What do you mean you're putting on a whole outfit just to go to the grocery store or whatever? Because in the States, it's just way more normalized to just have like loungewear, athletic wear on whenever you're going, which I think kind of goes with the hustle rush culture that I'm going to talk about later. So going into the hustle culture and everything, I feel like hustle culture is just not as big of a thing here because there's really no need to rush, which is why you end up in a cafe or restaurant for 2 hours minimum, or you have those midday lunch breaks where all the stores are closed down, or everything's closed on a holiday, everything's closed on a Sunday. Why you have like quiet hours where cutting your grass on a Sunday is basically illegal, if not I don't know. I know it's a no-no. That's all I do know. Which is, again, not normal for the States. Like, when I lived in the States, it is normal to basically get all your stuff done on Sunday. Because it's like, okay, you need to do your Sunday reset. You need to prepare for the week because you have to go back to work Monday. So we need to go grocery shopping. We need to clean the house. We need to cut the grass. We need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, to me, Sundays in the States are a productive day. It's the day where you get all your stuff done that you didn't do Friday and Saturday. But here, it is a rest day and a quiet day and like a day to just chill out and relax to prepare for the work week. But that is not the way it is in the States. So because things aren't really fast here or rushed here, you know, people are walking places more. People are just taking their time. Like, I've mentioned this, I think, in one of my YouTube shorts, but the very first day that my husband and I moved here, we obviously didn't have our cars or a rental car or anything yet, and so we had taken a taxi from this one place back to our hotel, and we didn't know about the cash system here yet, so our taxi driver only took cash, but we didn't have any. And he was like, no big deal, I'll just take you to an ATM and you can pull some cash out. And we were like, oh, okay, thank you so much. Like, we're so sorry. We had no idea. So when he got us to the ATM, my husband got out of the car and started running to the ATM. And the guy was like, no, like, stop. There's no need to run. Take your time. All that. That whole event right there would have been, like, you would not really see that in the States. In the States, if you wouldn't have ran to the ATM, it would have been seen as rude, or there would have been a snide comment, or been like, oh my God, you know, can't believe you made me go to this ATM and you're holding me up. I got other people to taxi places and stuff. But yeah, our first day, we kind of experienced that no hustle, rush culture where he literally was telling us like, hey, why are you running? Why are you running? Slow down. That was just a point blank, immediate example of how my life has slowed down so much since moving here. And then also another thing, just people go on vacation way more here. It is completely normal to just have a restaurant shut down for a few months while they go on vacation, or to take weeks off for a vacation, or anything like that. And I feel like in the States, that is just not really a thing, especially if you work a regular 9 to 5. Like, you are lucky if you get 2 weeks off a year. Meanwhile, here, I feel like people take 2 weeks off every month. And I think that coincides with, in the States, rest is seen almost as shameful. Like, there's a lot of shame surrounding rest and kind of sitting around and doing nothing. Meanwhile, I feel like in Europe, especially in some countries, doing nothing is seen as kind of like an art form, like a way of life. It is kind of essential in having a good life. And I really, really love that. There is so much beauty in just sitting and doing nothing. Like, I think there's an Italian word for it that I can't think of right now, but doing nothing is an art form that the US has not mastered, and I don't think they ever will, just because we have such a strong hustle, go as fast as you can culture. So yeah, that is about all of the little kind of cultural differences I'm gonna talk about for today. There's, again, like I said, definitely way more where that came from, and definitely let me know in the comments, especially if like you're an American abroad, kind of some differences you see with your American family that they think is completely strange, that's your normal everyday now. I just love talking about these cultural differences and talking about how just different ways of life and different ways of doing things. And it's just always so fascinating to me to see how people in different places and countries, how they live their everyday life and what is normal to them or not normal to them. I love it. And I'm so grateful to be able to have this perspective now, especially when I moved back to the States. I'll be able to kind of take some of my German customs and European customs back with me to kind of practice when I go back and to teach my family about like, hey, let's slow down a little bit, you know what I mean? But thank you so much guys for being here if you've made it this far in the video. And I am gonna go ahead and say that in a couple weeks, I will be taking some time off because I have some family coming to town for the first time, which I am so excited about, and I'll be trying to post as much as I can beforehand and afterwards, but I probably will not be posting at least long format the beginning of July, but I will definitely make a post about that beforehand. But just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that I will be taking just a mini break at the beginning of July to spend time with family and hang out with them and stuff like that. But I love you guys. If you have any questions for me, definitely let me know. Video ideas, I'm always looking for more video ideas. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.